Hello everyone, my name is Oz and welcome to a Reddit video. And yes, this is my very first video on this channel, and I am also jumping on this already popular Reddit train because I thought it might be something really cool to do as a personal project and to just entertain some people in general. So yeah, let's enjoy some entitled parents because that's what everyone likes to hear about, right? Alright, for our first story of my channel and of this subreddit this episode, Mother tries to take my Xbox on the bus. So here's some clarification that the OP gave us. EM is entitled Mother and KK is Kind Kid. I was driving home from picking up my Xbox One for my birthday. I was given the money so I could decide on Xbox One or PS4, and I chose Xbox One, which I personally think is a good choice, and was really looking forward to playing it. But then Entitled Mom and Kind Kid get on the bus. It was fine at first, but the Kind Kid sat next to me and the Entitled Mom stood. Kind Kid saw my Xbox One and said, "Cool Xbox," and I said, "Thanks, I just bought it." The mother was looking at me up and down and suddenly just said, "You can't afford that." Then I simply replied with, "It's my birthday." She out of nowhere said, firmly but quietly, "You stole that." We were the only ones on the bus and the driver was at the front end and we were at the back. I was getting nervous. I looked at Kind Kid and saw that he was as well. The mother proceeded to attempt to take it and grab it from my hands. Now I am a pretty young teen and was weak and said, "Let go, it's mine." She screeched, ooh, and said, "You stole that from my baby." She grabbed it and tried to run off and hit the stop button. Kind Kid just sat next to me and sighed. To my relief, the bus driver stopped but didn't open the door. He heard all of it. And he said, "Give it back and I will not call the police." Entitled Mom said, "But he stole it from..." The bus driver interrupted. "He got on 3 stops before you holding that." She sighed and gave it back and dragged her kid off the bus. That kid joined my school a year later and said to me he is now with a foster family due to child abuse, and the Entitled Mom was arrested. We are still friends to this day. I guess this is what you would call a typical entitled parent story. But it still makes me really sad, even though I've seen plenty of these before. It's just, the mother had a perfect chance. The bus driver didn't even call the police on her. She had the perfect chance to just get her life straight, get some help or something, and yet the child is now with a foster family. Though I am very glad the child got what he needed, and hopefully his new family is very loving and caring. On to the next story. Entitled Mom in hospital complains about drug addict teenager. First post here, hope you enjoy, sorry it's long. This story takes place a while back when I was 17. Following some abdominal pain, doctors discovered I had kidney stones. One of them had blocked my kidney, causing it to swell considerably, so I was taken to the hospital for treatment. I was placed on the teenage ward, which is a separate bay in the pediatrics ward. Kidney stones are incredibly painful, and at this point I'd already had 2 surgeries, so I was extremely doped up on painkillers. My morphine was administered by IV, but I also had to take tablets several times a day. One night, a kid bought into A&E with severe breathing difficulties. After being stabilized, he was transferred to the teenage ward. Because of the severity of his condition and his age, 14 I believe, his mom, the EM, was given permission to stay overnight with him. He was brought onto the ward at approximately 1 AM and put into the bed next to mine. The noise of his arrival woke me up and my body realized it hadn't had painkillers for several hours. I tried to find my call button but could barely move due to the pain and managed to knock it off my bed instead. So I started moaning in pain trying to find it. The EM flings open the curtain between the 2 beds and stares at me. I ask her to call the nursery, but she just stands there glaring at me. I finally get a hold of my call button and the nurse comes over. Before I can even get a word out, the EM starts complaining to the nurse at full volume that I am making too much noise. I'm disturbing her precious angel sleep, that at 17 I should be able to deal with the pain, etc, etc. I'm in tears from the pain at this point, and the other kids are waking up from the noise she's making, so the sister, head nurse, politely tells her to shut up. I'm given another dose of painkillers and manage to doze off again, and it was all well for a few hours. Come morning, my doctor comes to check on me as part of his rounds. I had a renal specialist as well as the general pediatric doctor. The entitled mom corners him before he can reach me and starts lecturing him about how I am clearly a disturbance and he needs to sort me out. My doctor is luckily amazing and firmly but politely tells her to take a hike. A few hours later, I'm given several of my tablets to take, and the entitled mom blows a fuse. She goes over to the sister again and starts complaining that I'm clearly a drug addict who's faking it for painkillers. She starts demanding that I be transferred to an adult ward as I'm a bad influence to the other children. The head doctor overhears this and is completely baffled. He points out that the medicine I'm taking is all prescribed and I'm doing nothing to disturb the other children as I'm spending all day curled up in bed watching TV. The entitled mom changes tactics and starts complaining that the shows I'm watching are sinful and a 14-year-old boy shouldn't be next to a 17-year-old girl. I turn my TV screen around to reveal I am binge watching Disney movies and the EM goes bright red. It doesn't stop there though, as she starts demanding her darling boy be put into a side room for peace and quiet as the other children are too noisy. The doctor declines this request as side rooms are reserved for critically ill children, and her son has now stabilized and is in fact one of the ones running around the ward disturbing others. My mom came in to visit me just after this, and the entitled mom attempts a new tactic by first telling my mom that the doctors are overdosing me and that I should be taken off the morphine, and then telling my mom I'd be much happier on an adult ward instead of around little children. My mom tells her to get lost, a lot less politely than the other doctors did. Luckily, the entitled mom's request to stay the second night was declined and her son was stable and he ended up being discharged the next day. I still have no idea why she hated me so much. Too long didn't read, entitled mom claims that I'm a drug addict, faking kidney stones in order to get painkillers, and disturbing her son with my moaning. Tries to get my morphine stopped and me kicked out of the ward. Dang, this mom has some personal vendetta against OP. Like, there wasn't even anything that would have sparked her interest. Like, it's just some 17-year-old kid sitting there. Unless if she has like I really don't know what to say about this, because you know, other parents would be like, hey, I want to steal this Xbox from this child. But she's like, I'm not gaining anything from this, but I'm still gonna bully this 17-year-old kid because I just hate 17-year-old kids, I guess. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think about this from her point of view, but there really is no explanation for it. Thank you guys so much for watching my very first video. If you guys have any criticisms or any comments at all, please feel free to leave it in the section below. I will always be reading them until, you know, there's too many of them, and that is a very long way away, so you guys have every opportunity to talk to me. I decided to create this channel just because I thought it was really cool how other people were just reading stories and entertaining other people, and I decided that, you know, I could do this too, so I created this channel just to entertain you guys and to entertain myself. It's a really cool project for me, and I don't plan to stop anytime soon, although uploads would be quite slow, but other than that, once again, my name is Os, and I will see you guys in the next video.